This is Washington D.C. This is where the people are staying who are homeless. As you can see, the tents. As you can see the tents here, I'm in Washington D.C. I'm within the capital town. This is where the place has been colonized by the President George Washington. Right now I'm walking within. Kama mnavyoona, hizo ni mahema. Hizo ni mahema za watu ambao bado hawana kwao hapa Washington, maeneo za Washington DC.
And even on the weekend, you won't wait on me on the weekend. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just taking a video. How are you?
Pretty good?
Good.
What's the video for?
Well, it's just for my family back home.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you get a chance, check out the website.
Oh, okay.
gov.com.
Oh, okay. What are these websites for?
The website is to teach people how we are supposed to have been controlling our government since 1776.
Oh, interesting.
Something we have not done since 1776.
Oh, okay. Back home is Congo.
Congo.
Yeah.
I met one woman from the Congo, but I didn't like her.
Oh,
Not against you.
okay.
Okay, it was in Germany,
Okay.
and my ex-wife, I moved into her apartment,
Okay.
and we were above this lady,
Okay.
and she didn't like the idea that I was an American living in. It was a German housing complex.
Okay.
Now she had come there from the Congo, but she didn't like the idea that an American
Right.
had moved into a German complex,
Right.
and she was always on her ass.
Oh.
So, like I said, it's nothing against you.
So may I know your name?
Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah.
My name is Amini. Nice to meet you. May I know your name, sir?
Dan.
Oh, Jen?
Dan.
Dan. Oh, okay. So do you guys live here or?
Temporarily.
Oh.
When right now the economy really stinks.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fight a case, and I need to go into Supreme Court.
Oh,
myself. And the case is against the law enforcement, and it's justifiable.
Okay.
So I get the whole law enforcement down on me and everybody else because they don't want to admit they're criminals.
Okay. Oh,
Understand that?
yeah.
It's kind of like in other nations, it's against the UN for them to keep you from having justice.
That's
But
true.
here in our government,
That's
now,
true.
they only recognize justice for people that pay high taxes.
Yeah.
Anyone that's in a lower tax bracket don't get justice. It's
Okay.
just us. In
Okay.
other words, J-U-S-T, us, U.S.
Okay.
Us. We get it, you don't.
Would you mind if I ask you a couple questions and I'm gonna include that in the video? Is that okay?
This isn't going to be put on YouTube, is it?
Oh, no,
Okay.
not on YouTube. So can you share just a little bit more of what made you, how did you find yourself here?
I had my rights violated.
Okay.
I had my hip broke by a sheriff that I tried to turn in for dealing methamphetamines
All right.
and manufacturing them. In Lawton, Oklahoma, his name is Kenneth Stradley.
Okay.
And I'm not afraid to say it because he knows he's guilty, and I
Okay.
can prove it.
So before you used to have a place where you lived until you ended up over here.
Yeah, I'm a 13-year honorably discharged veteran with
Oh.
a top secret security clearance.
Okay. Oh,
I had a very good future. I was working hard to get ahead. I had done my part I don't do drugs or drink.
Then your rights were violated. Then you
Multiple
did find
times.
yourself over here.
Yeah, multiple times.
Oh, I'm so
And
sorry.
The whole story, if it went to the UN, would make our government look really bad.
And
You know, the UN has laws too.
that's true. That's true. So, what do you think America can do better?
What it needs to do is it needs to dismember the government
Okay.
and rebuild it. I'm not
Okay.
for anarchy. I'm for a government that runs after the Constitution and
That's
the
true.
Declaration of
That's true.
Independence.
That's true.
I think they were the best documents ever written for this country. I think that the man that wrote them was a genius because he gave people rights and a place to go
Okay.
throughout history.
Okay.
He gave everybody an equal opportunity.
Okay.
And anybody that violates that Constitution should be found guilty of treason
That's
and
true.
hung,
Okay. Okay. Well,
just like they did in the old days.
it was nice hearing your opinions. Let's get to that, my friend. How did you end up here? Did you used to have a place where you lived, or did you used to have a job?
Yeah, junkyard.
Okay.
The residents on the junkyard and everything else, I owned it. The city officials,
Okay.
after I got the verbal
Okay.
agreements and everything else tape recorded the way I wanted them. About 3 years into it, or 5 years into it, they decided they were going to destroy the tape recorded minutes of the meetings and go with just a very short
Right.
paragraph of a 2-hour meeting. And then they issued a cease and desist order because the junkyard looked like a junkyard and it didn't look like one of those department store lots and stuff.
So was the junkyard like a company you worked for? Or?
Well, yeah, I own the business, the junkyard.
So what was your position over there at junkyard?
I was the owner.
Oh, you was the owner. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And the laws are pretty much the same everywhere. The government officials are pretty much the same everywhere. They think they are the ones that are the boss, and we are the ones that are supposed to serve them.
Right.
But it's designed to be exactly the opposite. Trying to teach people how we are supposed to control the government is a big task.
It's okay.
It's a found phone.
You're good. You're good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So what's the Congo like?
So, Congo,
I never got to talk to her. I tried to be nice to this lady a lot. And
absolutely.
she was always really mean to me. We ended up having to call the police on her, the Posai,
Okay.
and they went to her and told her, if you continue to harass him, we will put you back to the Congo. She didn't have citizenship yet. They were giving her an apartment for her and her 2 kids, and they were trying to help her with finances. The
So-
German government's very giving. They help people. They're very good government. I like their government quite well.
So this lady from the Congo, how did you meet her? Did you bring her from the Congo?
No, she was living in the apartment complex. She came on herself to Germany from the Congo.
Okay. Then you guys met here.
I never got to meet her. We passed sometimes, but she would never talk to me.
Oh, just on the internet.
No, just between the police.
Oh, okay.
She lived below me.
Okay.
She lived in an apartment below me. I was living in German housing in Germany,
Oh.
not here. I lived in Germany for 5 years.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry to hear that.
But I have nothing against people.
Okay,
You know, I just,
We'll try this again.
Okay, so let's get back to my friend. So you said you was the owner of this company,
Yeah.
and then for some reason you ended up here. So as you were sharing, can you please share some more?
Well, spent time in jail, contempt of court, because I didn't like the courts telling me how to run my business when it wasn't. They didn't have any proof of
So
it.
how did you end up in court? Did you do anything to end in court, or?
I refused to obey their cease and desist order,
Okay.
so they took me to court.
Oh, okay. And they shut your they did shut down your company,
They
and
foreclosed. They got the owners, the previous owners who financed the mortgage, to foreclose while I was in jail.
okay.
Yep. So when I got out of jail, I had no place to go except for the vehicle that I had, that mechanic shop
Okay.
during that time. From that time, I started living in the vehicles up until about 2017 when I was on New York interstate toll road and ran out of gas because I ran out of money. The state trooper had it towed with a tractor trailer tow truck, and this was not a tractor trailer vehicle.
Right.
So the toll bill was almost $500, and I didn't have $50 worth of gas tank, so $500 was way out of the question.
Oh my.
So that put me afoot.
And your car was gone since that day.
Well, it was a walk-in van that was converted into a Class A motorhome, just barely.
Okay.
It just had enough stuff to get the title conversion from a commercial vehicle to a Class A motorhome.
Okay.
So that put me afoot. Started spending time in some of the shelters and that sort of thing, and ended up in Washington, D.C. after spending some time in Virginia Beach jail for having slept in public
Oh.
on a bench at a public beach.
Okay. So being here, how long have you been here?
Since about July 2018.
Over here.
Not here in this park.
Okay.
But first over at Lafayette Square Park until they got a court order to keep me out of that park.
Okay.
I could have gone back since last December or whatever. But I've been working on this human-powered vehicle here a little bit at a time whenever money and resources are available. And then I'll be going back when it's done.
Okay.
So the thing about being in the military, most of the people who ever served in the military and still serve in the military don't realize that their service was and is treasonous against the very Constitution they swore an oath to.
Oh, that's true.
See, they don't realize that our domestic enemies are those people who pass laws that violate the Constitution, city,
Yeah.
county, state, or federal.
I see.
And part of those domestic enemies are those who enforce those unconstitutional laws and those judges who don't allow the Constitution in the courtroom to prove that the law is unconstitutional. As people in the military, we have done nothing to stop those domestic enemies, not since about 1776.
Okay.
So people will say they've got an honorable discharge. Hey, I got one too, but I know my service was treasonous against the nation, honorable only to the government.
Well, Mr. Dan, thank you for sharing your story. So, well, let's say if you were to say something to the government, law enforcement, what would you say?
I'm coming.
Like, what would you say they should do better?
They should actually practice a little bit of their reading comprehension,
Okay.
study the Constitution for its content and not what the lawyers and judges and politicians tell them it's supposed to mean.
Great.
Forget
Great.
the indoctrination camps they went through to become police officers,
Okay.
and realize that most of their laws that they enforce violate Amendment 9 of the U.S. Constitution and
Okay.
are not supposed to be enforced. But unfortunately, most of our police officers and government officials are in it for the paycheck,
Okay.
not for the service to the nation.
Okay.
And they will do anything to
So, which
protect that
means
paycheck.
a lot of officers, they are just working because of paychecks and not because of helping people.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, for both of you, it's been a great pleasure to meet you, and I hope you get out of here soon. And may God bless you. And thank you for sharing your story with me.
Something that you got to be aware of when you join the force or even the police force.
Okay.
You pledge to protect the
No.
Constitution, not the
I'm
government.
waiting for
Yeah.
the owner of this phone to come by and pick
You
it up.
pledge to protect the Constitution.
After they open it up.
It's, you swear in and
Huh?
say, I affirm and swear that I would uphold the
Supposedly the
Constitution.
person
Yeah.
who's
Protect
voted
the
in knows
Constitution
where I'm at.
against all
Come
enemies. The
by and pick it up.
Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
So what you mean is all about
It's your
honesty, like to stand on their words. So
yeah, you're pledging in to defend the Constitution.
Mhm.
Okay, the government, what they agreed to, the things that the Constitution.
Well, if
Yeah.
you happen to know
You're not
the
there to
password or
defend
code
them.
to get into it, I don't care who
Government.
comes by and picks
You're there
it
to
up. But the
defend
guy
that
who said
document,
his
the
phone,
Constitution.
he said he'd be by to pick
the
it
Bill
up.
of Rights, to give people freedom
Yep.
and give people what that says. Okay, so
All right, you're on
when
this
you
small thing here.
when you don't when
Yep. Yep, all right.
like when I was in 85, 86, 85, President Bush, the first one, the older Bush, put survey out that asked the American military to turn their weapons on the American people.
Oh.
It's number 7 on a long survey list. I took it to the first sergeant and told him I would refuse to answer these survey questions because of the fact they had that question on it, and it appalled that I would be asked that about from my government. It
Okay.
sounded like he was trying to overthrow the government by force.
True.
So he brought it back to me a couple of hours later and said I had to answer it because I was in working for the government.
Sure.
I said I answered it, but in protest then.
Oh, my brother. Can you just hold the camera just like this for me as he's talking? Yes.
And when I answered it, I answered it absolutely not. There were 4 answers to the question: yes, maybe, no, and absolutely no. He brought it back to me a couple of weeks later and said, I needed to tell you because you protested so hard against this question, what the final survey came up with. He said, I felt a responsibility to it. And he said 76% of the military said absolutely no to that question. In other words, the military is thinking. The government's not thinking. The government is our enemy, and they are the enemy of the Constitution. That's why I said earlier, they need to be dismantled. And if they're found guilty of treason, we need to go back to the old laws of hanging them until death.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and this is something that needs to be brought forward to government people so they can, at least, put in action their pledges. Like if they swear something, they have to make sure that they go according to what they say before the people.
Yeah, well, the Constitution's already been documented, and they go in there and a promise to the people to defend it and work for the people accordingly. They're not doing that. They're not working accordingly. As far as the military goes, the police are backing. As far as the military goes, obviously, they're not going along with the program. Okay. But they're there to defend the country, not the individual people. Now, if there was a war, knowing what they said on that survey, you're going to get a military support from the people, not the government. But if you expect support from the police officers or any of this local people, the FBI, all of them, they're going to support the government, not the people.
Thank you for sharing that. Remind me your name again?
Great.
Greg. Well, I was talking to Greg, and how long have you been here, Greg? Just over here.
I just here. I come and go. I'm here I come and go every day, but I only stay here at night. But here this time about 2 weeks. About 2 weeks, yeah.
Well, here I was talking to Greg, who comes and goes. He has been here about 2 weeks, and behind the camera I have Mr. Dan, who's been here. How long, Dan?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years, and he owned his company, and by law enforcement he ended up here. So it was nice to meet you, both of you.
Both of us ended up here by law enforcement.
Yeah, and this is something that needs to be modified. So this is something that needs to be taken care of.
Oh, please.
And
there was a way to do it.
and the government need to make sure that they are helping homeless people to see if they can find their way back, either to to do their normal activities.
Sorry, what was your name?
Amini. Yeah.
Okay, Amini. Check out Tennessee laws on homelessness.
Right.
It's a class 3 felony. 6 years in prison.
I understand.
Homelessness.
Yeah.
Nothing else. If they catch you 3 times without a place to live, even if you have an RV that's not hooked up to a camper site, a rental site, you can go to prison for 6 years. They're doing that all over the country.
That's
Even
true.
DC considered that law here.
That's true. Well, it's been nice meeting you,
What's
but
your job there?
so I'm a medical assistant coordinator, and I also work with the government.
That's what I've been trained for, medical. I took 3 years towards nursing school.
Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you both, and I'm so happy that you believe in yourselves and you believe that maybe one day you'll be out of here. Is that correct?
I expect to be in the grave before, I'll be out of here, but probably sooner than that. But I've been to terminal. I have a brain aneurysm that is unusual that anybody lives through one, and it's also unusual that I've lived as long as I have after the finding of it. It was found in 2008. You know what a brain aneurysm is, right? In medical?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't usually survive them. I've had mine. Mine's been CAT scanned and MRIs done, and it's there. My left hemisphere is full of blood.
Well, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talking to you again, both of you. And I will have to go now. And it's been a pleasure to just visit over here. And so just last question before I leave. How do you guys survive over here? Do you find like water to drink? How do you find food being here?
There's too much food, too much clothing, too much everything brought to this park for the homeless people.
Oh, okay.
Too much.
Okay.
I say that because a lot of the stuff gets thrown away in the garbage when people get done using it, or not even using it at all. They grab it because they like the looks of it.
Okay.
If it doesn't fit, they just leave it laying around, and I end up throwing it away so it doesn't clutter the park up.
Great. Okay. Well, that's good, and thank you guys so much. Okay, I hope you guys take care.
So
But
you
if
live
you-
near the Congo River?
If you want to rebuttal, if you will, about the hanging the politicians and such,
Right.
violate the Constitution,
Right.
that itself would be a violation of the Constitution, because the only thing the Constitution allows for the punishment of criminal activity is the use of slavery and involuntary servitude, so long as the person has been duly convicted of the crime.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You guys take care.
So where do you live in the Congo? Is it a big city, or is it what kind of a city do you have there?
So our city is Kinshasa in Congo. But myself, I'm from a place called Goma in Congo.
What kind of a place is it? I mean, is it built up buildings?
Not really, not like America. But
Well, I know there's a lot of places that are basically still years back. I mean, they live like they did years ago. They still have huts, and I mean, not necessarily homeless, but a very low standard.
yeah, over there is good. It's good.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. As long as you have a good life and your life's happy, who cares how you live? I mean, just like this, if you live in a tent and you're happy.
So the way they build, they have like down houses, and it's like some are city houses, like townhomes houses, which probably at one certain time I may recommend if you have time to visit.
By the way, the lady that was harassing me in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
she would pound on the floor trying to irritate us.
Mm-hmm.
One day she did it with the Polizei sitting in her house, and he was
Oh.
sitting there and knew that there was nothing going on in there, that she had a reason to be pounding on the floor. He was sitting there. He walked down to her and said, "You harass him again, we're
Right.
going to send you back to the Congo. You're
Oh.
here on our permission."
Wow, thank you for sharing that.
She was just being obstinate, and I'm not saying that everybody from Congo are obstinate. I'm just saying that she was.
I understand.
There are obstinate black people here.
Mhm.
There are obstinate white people here, but
Yeah.
not everybody
Not everybody.
is obstinate. They're just, it's a makeup, a mix-mash, and why can't we all just get along?
Thank you, Mr. Greg. Thank you. All right, take care. You guys take care.
Joe for you. Why did Santa Claus fire Frosty?
What was that?
Why did Santa Claus fire Frosty?
I have no idea.
He caught him dipping in the snow.
Wow.
If you caught that.
Okay, got you.
Do you know what snow is?
Nope.
In the U.S., we used to get this cocaine powder
Mm-hmm.
from Mexico, or from actually South America. And when they got it, they called it snow. Okay, they snorted it,
Really?
so they called it snow because it was pure white.
Wow.
So when you tell an American that joke, it's referring to that. In their head, they automatically go to snow being what they used to snort.
Thank you for sharing
So
that.
it's a joke.
Okay.
And to respect that Frosty's made of snow.
Okay.
Made of the white powder snow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who Frosty is?
No.
He's a giant snowman.
Oh, wow.
And it's a cartoon that we have at Christmas time that they show to kids. So they get excited about Christmas so that they can sell more stuff, sell commercials, things like that. So it's a joke when you say Frosty was dipping in the snow because he's made of snow.
Okay. Well, Mr. Greg, thank you for
Amazing.
sharing that. And I wish I had more time to spend with you, but thank you
No,
for that.
go ahead. I
Uh,
understand.
all
You're a
right.
busy man. You
Uh,
got things to do.
Thank you. See you.
All right, we'll see you.
Okay. All right. Well,
I hope you enjoy your stay here.
all right. Thank you. Okay. Well, I was talking to two homeless people who's been here in DC over the past. One has been in DC over the past 2 years, and another one has been here over the past 2 weeks. So this is the kind of life they're experiencing right here. As they also mention, they say that at times they get food, at times they get plenty of donations from people. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see there is a lot of tents over here. I'm in DC, capital town. Down there is the White House. White House is just behind down there, and myself behind the camera. So we have tents in DC. We have a lot of stuff going on. So as you can see, we have like different benches, and there is quite some places for them to sit. You can see some benches where they sit. As I was interviewing one of them, they mentioned that they get free donations like groceries, water, and other donations. While behind the camera is Amini, and just thank you so much for watching the video. As you can see right here, I'm by the monument. I'm not sure what this is, but it's been done by the comrade of the society, the Army of the Tennessee. Going back, you can see, guys, going back. I'm just getting close. You can see, there. Can see. Well, people who are watching me right now, thank you so much for watching this video. Please, if you do need more, don't forget to subscribe, and as well as praying for the people who are homeless, praying for the people who don't have a place to live. Some people are hopeless. Some people, they do have hope that maybe they will be out of here very soon. Well, thank you so much, and stay tuned.